Hello there. Thank you very much. So tonight on the show, I'll be speaking exclusively to the leader of the opposition Gambia Democratic Congress, Honorable Mama Kandeh, my big guest for tonight. This will be the first time he is appearing on the show. Honorable Kandeh, thank you for being on the show tonight. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you very much. Honorable, let's begin, first of all, with the state of affairs in your party. You came third in the presidential election, but what we also saw, the parliamentary election came from 5 MPs to 0 MP. What is the state of affairs in GDC?
Well, thank you very much. First of all, I want to seize the opportunity to thank you for coming. And then I believe since after the election, this is going to be my first
Your very
appearance
first, yes, TV appearance.
on TV appearance. And not only this one, but I think in all the social media that is right now in the Gambia. Yeah, you are right. I mean, I believe the party still have a very good position politically in this country. Losing the last parliamentary election doesn't mean that this is the end of the party. Since then, we are doing our groundwork to try to upgrade the party to a level that I believe each and every member of the party would want to see. Perhaps there may be some loopholes, left, right, and center, but at the same time, we are and we will never give up. I think we stand today stronger than ever to make sure that the position that GDC stands in this country will be maintained, and not only coming about that position, but also to make sure we get to the level that we are looking up to. So we are working very hard right now. I'm trying to restructure that is nationwide. We don't need to publish it. We don't need to put it in the media. But underground, we are doing our work to make sure whatever we lose, we regain the support. And at the end of the day, also, it is not for us to decide who should be voted for. It is the Gambians that will decide at the end of the day. All we can do is to sell our party agenda to the people, and it is again left to them to decide who to vote for. This is not the first time in the political history in the Gambia. I mean, we have seen parties boycotting elections here. We have seen parties that have contested here elections and got nothing. But that doesn't mean that that's the end of the world. So as we have the country at heart, we will continue to contribute our quota politically, whatever we can do to make sure we surface. Everybody will know that GDC exists.
I have seen people write to suggest that the party is on life support. What do you say to such suggestion?
I mean, I haven't seen that yet. Perhaps, I don't know who wrote that, but the party is still existing. And as I said, we are doing our best to make sure that we do all the restructuring necessary to prepare for the coming election.
Why did you refuse to accept the election result of 2021?
Well, for me, the election was not free and fair. We have some evidences that we believe the electoral laws of this country were violated, and we strongly stand that the election was not free and fair, and that my position will remain the same. Nothing is going to change that. The only institution that would have helped change the position was the Supreme Court. If at all the Supreme Court had the time to look at all the documents that the petition was put before them by the UDP, and then it would have been better than taking on technical matters and deny citizens their right to be heard. And that is why I'm not still accepting, because there is no evidence for me that proof that the election was not free or was free and fair. The evidence we had, we forwarded before the court. It was the court that would have, or that should have gone through all the process to make sure that the case is heard until the court decides, no, your petition does not hold any water, does not, the president have won in a very free and fair atmosphere, that we would have accepted, because that's the only institution that we were left with. We don't encourage people to go out on the streets to protest, because at the end of the day, what's going to come out, no one knows. And we want to make sure that we want to maintain the peace and stability that this country is known for. And inshallah, we will do our best to make sure that we all enjoy that peace and tranquility that the Gambia is known for. But it's just unfortunate the court denies Gambians for their right to be heard.
But this was UDP, not GDC. It was
Yeah,
UDP that went to court.
But we were working with UDP on these petition issues, because you have seen in the social media that both the UDP and the GDC, including Esam Baifal, who withdrew later, agree and put a statement that they are not going to accept the results based on reasons known to them, which was put before the court. So we did not need to put a petition and then the UDP put a petition. We put our evidences together. The little we had, we gave it to them. So this is what happened.
Would you have combined with UDP all over again to take the position that you took? That is to reject.
If I would have?
Would you have done this all over again? The issue of combining with UDP, going to UDP leader Usainu Dabo's house to reject
I went
the
to
election?
Usainu's house because he was sick, and I cannot expect at that stage the way the old man was to leave his house to meet with me in any other different place other than me going there to meet him. He is our elder, and he was health-wise, he was not strong. So I thought it important that I personally should go there. I didn't go there for Usainu or to UDP to back me on anything. I run my elections without UDP, and I will continue running my elections with or without UDP. So I think people should also understand that this is the Gambia. I mean, GDC is fighting with no one, including President Barrow. I don't fight with President Barrow. The issue we had is politics, nothing else. Personally, I have nothing against him. He's a Gambian like me. He has all the rights to vie for any position, like I have all the rights to vie for any position in this country. But that doesn't mean that we should be fighting left, right, and center every day. So I have no issue with anybody. I can meet with Barrow the next minute. I can meet with Usainu or whoever. This is my belief.
So when you say the electoral laws were violated, what do you mean by that?
Well, we have put a petition to the Independent Electoral Commission for what we have seen that was happening during the campaign process, and up to now, we did not get any response from the IEC, which I believe is just not fair from the Independent Electoral Commission. Because when Barrow, the president, put a petition against the GDC for former President Jammeh speaking in our rallies, the petition was quickly forwarded to us that we should stop the former president speaking in our rallies because there was disturbance. But ours was never responded to. We put our petition. It's very clear. It is there at the IEC. Perhaps if you have time, you can liaise with the IEC chairman and find out what petition that we put there. But it's there. And we did not get any response as we are speaking.
Can you tell us?
I don't need to tell you. Just go there.
So I was going to ask you about your relationship with former President Yahya Jammeh. You let him speak at your campaign rallies, and Jammeh went to the point of insulting His Excellency President Barrow. Why did you let Jammeh speak in your rally?
Jammeh, there is no section in the Constitution that denies any Gambian, wherever he or she is in this world, to participate fully in politics. No section in the Constitution, so I see no reason why he should be denied speaking in any political rally, being in him or any other citizen. So this was my reason, but I did not support any form of insult. And everybody knows that since I've started this politics, I have a very decent way of doing my politics because I want to respect everybody. So this is what happened. But the Gambia have become a politic of insults every day, every minute. Everybody is insulting me. People are insulting the president. People are insulting other political parties. I believe this is not what we need, and this is not the style of politics that we should encourage in this country.
Did Jammeh to reject the election result since he was your partner?
I did not speak to him about rejecting the election results. He is not here. How can he reject the election results? I think we who are on the ground should know if the election was free, fair or not him. Yeah.
So your relations with his No Alliance movement, how is that? Are you still working together?
Yes, of course, the relationship is there. I mean, they are Gambians. I mean, nobody can deny them contesting or participating or being involved in elections. I mean, as you can see, they have contested the last parliamentary election and won all the seats in Fonyi. So that alone shows you that they are deeply involved in politics. So the relationship between myself or the GDC and them is very smooth. Yeah.
Now let's talk about one thing. I know you are busy and you are leaving. So the issue of you wanting to meet the president also, there was a lot of noise around that. To the extent that you issued an audio message, you were venting, you were a bit disappointed that people were making that an issue. You said people have other things to talk about.
I believe you have a lot to talk about, not Mama Kandeh have requested.
But this is a very important issue. You are a political leader wanting to meet the president.
Yeah, of course. The president is a Gambian. The president is not a better Gambian than any one of us. I think he is put there for a purpose, right? If any one of us, including yourself, have the interest to meet with the president, I think it is just your right to request meeting him. This is not my first time asking to meet the president, and I want to thank him for all the past years that anytime I request meeting with him, he will always give me the platform, the opportunity to sit down with him and discuss issues. This was not the first time, so it's nothing new in this. That is why I said, why is it an issue for discussion? Because it's nothing new.
So here is why it is an issue for discussion this time around. Yeah. You rejected his election, his victory, that the election was not free and fair. People are saying someone whose presidency you do not recognize.
I think,
why do you want to meet him?
It is good sometimes to follow of events what happened. I mean, I think when I called for a press conference, that I am not accepting the results based on my reasons. I made it very clear that day that I cannot stop the president being, or Adama Barrow being the president of this country. But again, nobody can also force me to accept the results when I know it is not free and fair. So accepting the results or not accepting the result is one thing. Stopping President Barrow to be a president is another thing. So the only institution that could have come out and said the election was null and void or not free and fair and we go back to the polls was the Supreme Court, which never happened. So how can I stop the president? If left to him alone, he can be the president of this country for the next 100 years if he is alive. So I'm not blaming him for not the matter not being tabled before the court. I'm not blaming him for that. Left to him, he will be the president all the time. So it was the court that should have had the time and the belief that these are Gambians who are requesting for their right to be given to them.
So let's get something clear.
So I don't think if I am that powerful enough to stop Adama Barrow from being the president. I can't. But again, nobody can force me to tell you to say that the election was free and fair when I know it was not free and fair.
So now let's get
the only institution that I had to clear that for every Gambian was the Supreme Court.
Let's get one thing clear. Do you or do you not recognize his presidency as being legitimate?
You see, it's not about recognizing. He is sworn in already. It's not about recognizing. It's about accepting results. It's not about recognizing. These are two
There's a
things.
very thin line between these two.
Exactly.
Not accepting and not recognizing, in this case, would appear one and the same. Don't you agree?
No, I don't agree with you. That was why the first day I rejected the results, I said, I cannot stop him being a president, but I have my reason for not accepting the results. So that was very clear. Recognizing and not accepting results is two different things. Whether I recognize him or not, he's the president. Right? Whether I accept it or not, he's the president. But again, it is my right to say I do not accept the results based on my reasons. And the reasons that nobody, perhaps the Supreme Court, which the only institution we had for it to be listened to, they never wanted to listen to this matter. So, what can I do? It is not stopping him being the president. But again, it's not stopping me from not accepting the results.
Why do you want to meet him? People say this is a personal interest issue. His diplomatic passport, he wants the president to renew it. He has his own business investment that he wants to talk to the president about.
Okay.
What is this meeting all about?
Well, there is a diplomatic passport issue.
I have seen all these claims out there, so
Yeah,
I'm just throwing them at you.
This is what I'm saying. It's normal. It's normal. This is what we expect from all media houses. I mean, they can come up with any kind of story.
No, these are not media houses. These are people, your critics, who said this.
That
You want to meet him because your diplomatic passport, you want it renewed.
I don't think if I need to meet President Barrow for my diplomatic passport to be renewed, I don't think so. For me, that's not important. Whether I have a diplomatic passport or not, Mama Kandeh will always travel if I want to travel. I believe so. So I don't think if I would really want to meet him just because of a diplomatic passport issue. That's too small. That's too petty.
Why do you want to meet him?
I will tell you when I meet him. Should I tell you why I want to meet him? I could have called for a press conference and then tell Gambians this is why I want to meet him.
Yeah, tell Gambians.
Not to tell you.
They want to know. Not me, but people, they want to know.
That's not important. It's not important for now.
It's not important for now?
Not at all.
So the president in the Tobaski period reached out to all the political leaders. He couldn't reach you.
Yes.
What happened to your phone?
I don't know what happened to my phone.
You don't know?
What do you want me to tell you? What happened to my phone? Maybe I was not with my phone. It's normal. But all I know is that I appreciate the attempt. I think this is the way in the right direction. I mean, at the end of the day, he's the president, whether we want it or not. I mean, he should try to do everything possible to unite Gambians. We need unity in this country. Without unity, I don't think if he will be able to run that office smoothly and achieve his goals as he wanted. So it is now left to him to try to bring Gambians together. When it's time for politics, it's politics. As I said, I have no issue with President Barrow. He's my brother. We are coming from the same area. It's the same way that I have no issue with any other political party leader. And I've even made mention of it on the Tobaski Day, that if I am the president, I would put something in the constitution that will allow the president to sit with all opposition party leaders 2 times a year, at least for them to discuss, important issues that are affecting the country and perhaps together look for a solution to that problem. And that is the unity that we need within Gambians. We are so divided at the moment. We have seen politics of hatred, politics of tribalism, all kind of politics. And I don't think Gambia is just too small that we need such a politic in this country. And I even made mention, if I am to go on a nationwide tour, if I am the president, I would rather go with all the opposition party leaders, because that is a national matter. It's not a political tour. And that every Gambian, especially...
But Honorable, where do you have that? Where do you have that in the world?
Who owns democracy?
No, nobody, absolutely.
So what? You can create something.
You can always create.
You can always create. That will bring unity among people. That will bring understanding among people. That can bring development of your country. I mean, democracy does not belong to anyone. You know, you can create it. What is wrong with President Barrow or Mama Kandeh being the president, going with all the opposition party leaders to a tour? Because these are these are periods where you want to hear from Gambians what their problems are. And this is a period where you want to talk about what program do you have for your country, so that they will also understand and you will also understand. It is not a political tour, but 99% of the times, these tours are politicized. You know, and we should get away from that. If president want to go on a tour, he have a party. He can go on a political tour, which is no problem. You know, that is, he can take all the people from UDP or GDC or whatever, politically, it's fine. But this is a national issue where he is going to listen to Gambians, where he is going to try to find out, to figure out what are our problems. There he will not have Mr. Jammeh coming out there and bringing 5 people from the UDP to NPP or from the NPP to GDC. It's not going to happen because everybody is seated. And those people that he is going with are vying for the same position that he is. So they also need to know what the problems of this country is. And I think there is nothing wrong with that. Nothing is wrong with that. That shows, that will in fact give him a credit in the whole world, because you are telling me that it does not exist anywhere in this world.
Yes.
So I think...
So it would be an invention.
Exactly.
A positive invention at that.
Every Gambian can be proud of that and say, look, this is how the system of democracy that we have. We are one people.
Let me ask you about one topical issue. This of the TRRC, it recommended for your political ally, former President Jammeh, to be prosecuted. What's your take on the recommendations of the TRRC?
I think you better ask that question to those that have come up with the TRRC and recommendations. You
are a political leader, a very important stakeholder in this process.
I am a political leader. The TRRC is very clear. Truth, reconciliation. Truth, reconciliation. I think that alone have answered any other question that one needs to ask. Yes. It is about the truth and reconciliation. That's all I can say.
You don't have an opinion on what should be done?
No, when they brought the TRRC, truth, reconciliation, that have covered everything.
How about the justice part?
Well, do you think justice can go with reconciliation?
So where there is justice, in your view, there cannot be reconciliation?
I think you will pass that stage. I think you will pass that stage. For me, it is TRRC, truth and the reconciliation.
So, Honorable, you don't believe in justice, that justice should take place regarding all these sick human rights violations?
I think nobody should be denied his or her right. Nobody should be denied his or her right. And justice is there. And that is why they set up the commission. So I don't know what else do we want. They are telling you they need the truth. After the truth, we need reconciliation. It is left to them to take Jammeh to the court or not to take him to the court.
Will you support that process?
It is not for me to decide.
Will you support that process?
That question should be, even if I do support or I don't support, what can I do about that?
But that carries a lot of weight.
For?
You have a whole political leader supporting the issue of victims finding justice. That is very weighty. You don't think so?
Yes, of course. We all stand for justice. But for him to be tried or to be prosecuted, it is left to the system. It's not for me to decide. I think they're deciding on that. Justice must prevail. And that is why they put up the TRRC. So nobody is denying anybody that justice. But now it is left to them to try him or not to try him. It is not for me to decide on. When the TRRC was set up, nobody questioned me about setting up a TRRC.
But you were
and I was here.
But the party was consulted.
I was never consulted.
GDC wasn't consulted.
I was never consulted that they were going to set up. They were going to set up the TRRC. So, and I am not rejecting the TRRC because every Gambian needs to know what happened. Every Gambian needs to know what happened. I'm in support of justice. That's 100%. No question about that. Yes.
Honorable,
So for trying Jammeh, it is left to the system. Now that they have put up their TRRC, recommendation have come out, the white paper, it is now left to them. Not for me to decide on that. So questioning me what should be done or what should not be done would be meaningless for me. You know. So
the local government elections will be here in less than a year. What are the plans?
we are preparing. I told you from the beginning.
Yeah.
Yes, we are preparing. We're going to contest it.
You are raring to go.
We are ready, inshallah.
Honorable, your final comment to the citizens.
Well, I thank you for this short opportunity. Unfortunately, I have other things to do. That's why we couldn't have like at least an hour or so. But always my message to the Gambian people is let us maintain the peace and stability that this country is known for. As politicians, we can have our differences politically, but that have nothing to do with, using that to destabilize this country or to create harm against the poor, especially. I'm calling all politicians to understand that this is one Gambia and it should be one people. That way we can move this country forward. And I will call on the president to continue what he has just started, to try to reach out to every Gambian, especially his political colleagues in the arena, to make sure that there is that mutual understanding between him and all the others. Because today he is there as the president, tomorrow it can be any of us in that office. So nothing is permanent in life, everything is temporal. So we just have to create that environment to make sure that every Gambian enjoys the unity among Gambians, and we need that unity. And I'm calling on my opposition colleagues also, whatever they got that is going to be for the betterment of this country, that they believe can help move this country forward. At the end of the day, it is the ordinary Gambians that are going to benefit. Let them come out. Let them try to reach out to the president. I'm sure all of us have our plans, our ideas, our contacts, our connections. I think these are things that we need to put together to help this country move forward and to change a lot of things in this country, because so many things need to be looked into.
Honorable, thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you very much for being on the nation today. I appreciate it, Honorable.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, my brother.
So that is it. This is the end of the show tonight. Thank you for being there. I will see you. Until then, goodbye.